Hi again, everybody. This is Rye from the Dry Fly Rye channel. I mentioned in my last video about an app for the iPad called Garden Plan Pro. I said I would try to do a video on it, so that's what I'm going to try to do now. It's a very helpful app for anybody that's got an iPad. It's very handy, but it comes with a price tag. As far as apps go, it's kind of on the expensive side. It is $9.99, but if you ask me, it's well worth it. Especially if you're someone like myself who's very anal and likes to be organized, and you just want to be nice and ready and plan ahead and just mess around with stuff while you're sitting at home on your couch or in your chair with your feet up. That's what I like to do. It maps out your whole garden for you according to how much room each plant needs. Visually, it keeps a list of all the plants you have. It tells you when you can start growing them indoors, outdoors, when you can expect your harvest. On and on. There's just so much stuff this app can do. So I'm going to try to put together a quick video. I don't know how good it's going to come out. I'm shooting right now with my iPhone. Hopefully it can pick up the screen good. And from this point on, I'm going to do like a kind of first-person kind of view so you can see the screen, and I'll explain all the different features as we go. All right, so let's go sit down and we'll have a look at the screen here. All right, so let's go ahead and open up the app here. This is what your icon looks like. It's through growveg.com, which is a decent website. Also, when you open up your account here, it also stores all of your plans on the website through your web browser too, if you ever want to access it away from your iPad. Alright, so here's our home screen. We can watch a quick video tutorial as soon as we get up there. These next icons go through your plans. This is just a sample plan that comes with the app. It also comes with all these cool, handy growing guides, little articles on all this stuff, pollination, saving seeds. It gives you some articles, very helpful. So that's kind of cool. And then you got your settings. It will find through your GPS that's built into your iPad where you are, and it comes up with your first and last frosts. That's kind of neat. This is also where you would set up your online account, but I won't go through all that. So let's just get into the features here. Here's my plan that I've been working on. Basically, this is my entire property. I got my main house down here in the left-hand corner. This is my barn up here where I shot the video of how to make some raised garden beds. This is like my little man cave, and then we got a little swimming pool at the driveway. That's my kids' little play area. And over here is going to be like the main garden. I'm also going to do some stuff in the front beds here in the front of the house, and that's basically where the woods are and stuff. So if we zoom in on an area, I won't go through everything I got listed, but I'll just give you some examples of what this can do. Like here I set up my hoop house. So I made a box, and I colored it green for like greenhouse. And over here it's going to be a raised bed, and then over here is pots. I don't know if you can see how there's circles. So you can draw various shapes to represent various things. So I drew circles for containers and what I'm going to have in each container. Over here's my bed with my celery and that kind of thing. All my lettuces up here. A lot of stuff I'm doing in the hoop house and outside just as an experiment to see where they do better. Because again, this is my first year doing all this stuff. I haven't really figured that much out yet. But more on what the app can do. The cool part about this part of it is, I'll zoom in on this bed here. This is my squash bed. If you notice, each item has around it like a colored halo. That halo represents the amount of space that particular plant needs. So when you're designing your beds, you move these things around. You plop it in there and you say, all right, that acorn squash is going to take up that amount of space. So I set up my squash bed with my hard squashes around the edges, knowing they were going to take up a certain amount of space. And then I threw the summer squashes in here. And then I even had some more extra space, like in these little voids. You know, it's nice that this app does this, because you can see now, oh, I've got a little bit of room here. And you can really cram your beds full. Actually, you can see how that makes rows too. I'll get into that in a second. So you can really cram your beds to their max and fill up every little nook and cranny that's in the space. So I threw in some beets because those don't take up any space, a couple things of garlic, and just kind of scattered them in there because I know, according to this plan, that I have room for all these different things in here. So I kind of did the same thing over here with my melon patch. I could only fit, a couple melons in here, but then I decided to take up these little voids with some mint. All right. The other thing you can do is, I'll go over to here to where I have my cabbages, is it'll tell you automatically without any thinking how many plants you can fit in a row. So I wanted to put a row of cabbages here, and I dragged it out, and it's telling me 1, and I can squeeze 3 in there. You plop your row, and it tells you automatically. All right. I mean, these are getting a little crowded. I'm pushing it there. Let's go over to like where I have my corn. That's a good. All right, so I'd say I want a row of corn here. Place it. I drag it out, and it tells me exactly how much corn I can fit into that space. So that's really helpful. I mean, it's so simple. So it makes life so much easier for you. I was trying to do all of this before on a sheet of graph paper, and it got the job done to an extent, but it was a pain. And then when I saw this app, I downloaded it, and I'm like, wow, this is so much easier. So that's really cool. The other thing is, well, you got this little notes section, so you can write, whatever here. Keep whatever notes you want. You can just kind of keep in there like a journal. And you also have this other tab, close this keyboard down here, which is your plants list. Now your plants list gives you a list of every plant you have in your garden, down to the trees. So that's kind of cool. It's got your plant list over here, some basic information about, spacing and height and all that kind of stuff. Over here it has a little bar graph showing you when you can plant it inside, which is in blue, when you can plant it outside, which is in green, and then your expected harvest, which is in orange. I found that they're a little off, at least compared to what I've been reading on my seed packets and online. For instance, like celery. Celery, for some reason, told me to start mine 12 weeks ahead of my last frost date, which I did. I already got my celery growing right now. But for some reason, the app says not to start it until a couple weeks. So I'm not really sure. It might just be geared toward specific varieties. So when you click on an item, it comes up with different information about that vegetable, how to grow it, and when to harvest, and how frost tolerant it is, and all those cool things. You can also have just a little notepad, again, specific notes just on that plant. Go back to plants here. And the other helpful thing too is in your list it tells you exactly how many plants you have in your garden, which I thought was kind of neat because there's some things like kale. All right, this is telling me, I just showed you in that squash bed, I only had 2 kale plants, but I have kale in other areas of my garden, and it automatically adds them all together to tell me I have 6 kale plants. So anything I'm going to start from seed indoors, all I got to do is look at my list and be like, oh, all right, well, where's my tomatoes? And I know I've got 6 different tomato plants, or, that kind of thing. So it's really helpful. There's just so much information on here about every fruit and vegetable. I don't get bored when I'm playing around with this thing. I sit for hours and I just fiddle around with it. I'm like, oh, well, maybe this would work better over here, and I drag and drop it. Then I change my mind, and then I put it back. And, it started with just, it's kind of funny. I just started with, come on, go down. I just started with this little section up here, laying stuff out. And then as I was like, oh, that's cool, I decided to just do the whole quarter-acre property and just map everything out. Because then I'm starting to think in like years down the road, where I want apple trees and I want grapevines. So it's just fun to play with. I even got my compost pile marked out over there. So yeah, if you have an iPad and you're planting a garden, check out Garden Plan Pro. We'll get back there. Is that what it's called? Yeah. All right, it's saving. Garden Plan Pro. Check it out. It's $9.99, available on the App Store. Well worth it if you ask me. Alright guys, so there you have it. My quick little review / demo of Garden Plan Pro, available on the App Store for $9.99. Again, I'm not like sponsored by them or anything. I downloaded it and it was cool, and I thought I would share it with you because it pertains to everything that I'm making videos on. So if you have an iPad, check it out. Alright. Until next time, keep your hands dirty. Bye.